YouTube, it is Atticus. Hello, my friends. Welcome to another Dark Elf replay. So, yeah, this one is a response to my Dark Elf monster guide that I just released yesterday. And if any of you guys who watched that guide, you'll remember me talking about the Kharibdyss. More specifically, me talking about how the Kharibdyss had a synergy with the Lore of Death. So in this game, guys, I am going to show you that synergy. I'm going to show you how to use a Kharibdyss and the Lore of Death to absolutely just shred through front lines, to exploit the low leadership of factions like the Beastmen, Greenskins, Skaven, etc., etc., etc. Also, I looked back in my history of videos, and we haven't had a Beastman game in a while. So, yeah, I figured it would knock out two birds with one stone. I'll show you a cool build for dealing with the Beastmen, and I'll show you the Lord of Death / Kharibdyss combination that I like to use. So, let's go ahead and look into the builds, guys. So, for my Lord, we are taking the Lawnmower himself, good old Lokir Felheart. Look how much taller he is than the Black Blades of the Blood Queen. That's just crazy. He's like a good 1.5 feet taller than the rest of the guys. Now, I know they do it for all the lords, I guess, to make them stand out, but sometimes it just looks weird. Makes these guys look like little, dwarfs and things. So, yeah, we got Lokir Felheart. I just needed somebody cheap so I can afford to go 2 Kharibdyss guys, and I knew in my other guide, I said, rarely do you want to take more than one monster? Well, this is that rarely. This is the exception. In this matchup, I think the 2 Kharibyddses actually can pay off for you. So yeah, we got Lokir Felheart. He's going to have regeneration and a melee defense buff. A front line of Hargnef Executioners and the Blades of the Blood Queen. We also have some Blackguard Corsairs mixed in for good effect. And some Bleak Swords on each flank right here, guys. So a lot of one-on-one soldiering, like a lot of units that could deal with the mass troops of the Beastmen, but not that much anti-large. I'm really going to be relying on my Kharibdyss. And the reason for that, guys, is the Beastmen really don't have that much anti-large. They have Minotaurs with great weapons, and they have these little Ungors, and they have a Regiment of Renown unit. But, yeah, I mean, they just don't really have that many reliable, heavy-dealing anti-large units. So that's what makes me feel safe being able to bring the Kharibdyss. For my backline, we do have 1 unit of spears, guys, and then we have the Lore of Death Sorceress. And for the spells, whereas those first 3 spells I told you about, guys, Aspect of the Dread Knight. Of course, it's not going to let me click on it. Yep, there it goes. Aspect of the Dread Knight, which will give +8 leadership and can cause terror. So yeah, you put this on any unit. You could cast this on a unit of Dread Spears here. Now these guys will become terror-causing platforms. Also, we have... don't do this to me. Okay, we just had it. Sorceress of Death. Alright, well, the other one is the one that lowers leadership. So you could select a 1 unit and lower the leadership by 16, or you can overcast it, and it's going to make it into a radius that will lower everybody's leadership by 16. Now, keep in mind, the Kharibdyss has -8 Abyssal Howl. So in his radius, he's causing -8. You add another 16 to that. I mean, what are you guys, like -24 leadership? Let's go ahead and look at the leadership of some of these Beastmen units. 64... 61. So you're going to have these guys down into the 40s, 30s, and then if you have units that cause terror, like, for example, the Kharibdyss does, Aspect of the Dread Knight, that's going to hit their leadership even more, and that will just cause a mass rout that they can't really get from. So it's really powerful. And then, of course, we have Spirit Leech with my Sorceress here. So, yeah, that's my build, guys. You can see I have 1 unit of Raven Heralds right here in the back. And, yeah, these guys are going to be my Chariot Snipers. These things are so good, and as long as I can protect them from getting hit by Ungor Raiders, they will stay alive. So, very cool build. Let's look into my opponent's one here, guys. And you can see leading his forces, he does have Kazarek the One-Eye, and I do like him up on this Chariot. I think this is the best pick for the Dark Elves, as long as you plan for the Raven Heralds, which are a natural counter for it. But, yeah, these guys, he will absolutely shred through. This is a Slaughters, Hargnef Executioners, pretty much anything. Now, you got to be careful which elves locking him in place, but the longer he fights in combat, the better armor that he does get. He also has a unit of Minotaurs with shields and a Minotaurs with great weapons. Really powerful. Front line of Ungors with spears, and he has some chevrons on. Secondary line of Ungors, just regular ones with the shields. And then we have 2 Ungor Raiders. And then we have a Cygor and a Giant. So very cool build. A little bit of everything. And then last but not least, we have some Cynogors with great weapons. So let's go ahead and start this match, guys. Right off the bat, as the Blade of Glass said to the Lawnmower. I guess we'll let that one slide. You can see he's going to start coming up here trying to look for a charge, but the Kharibdyss I'm going to use to try to intercept him. So yeah, I'm like, all right, you want to take that charge? Let's go ahead and do it. Kharibdyss is going to have a nice, good poison attack. And you see, yeah, we're going to get a hit, but it is going to kind of miss. So yeah, he really needs to get Kazarak out of there. Just one hit takes him down, a pretty hefty chunk of his damage. You can see I'm sending this Kharibdyss in just to screen away these Minotaurs, especially with the support of all these, shaft units coming. He's definitely going to have to pull away. You can see that Kazarak is actually getting hit really bad. I'm getting a overcasted Spirit Leech as well, and we've almost got him down to a quarter of his health, which is really good for us. Front lines are getting ready to collide. You can see that. Let's go slow it down here. You can see that Look Here Philhart's going to absolutely just shred through all these low-tier Beastmen units. The same with these Black Ark Corsairs. Like, this is what they excel at. Fighting Ungors and things like that. Yeah, we'll take that battle any day of the week. You can see that he is going to turn his Minotaurs around and start fighting the Kharibdyss. Now, this could be a little bit bad for the Kharibdyss, just one-on-one, since there's so many of them, but I do have some shaft units. They're not really shaft units, but you know what I mean, coming to reinforce some bodies that will help keep them from just, focusing the Kharibdyss. You can see that the Raven Heralds are providing some overwatch as well, and yeah, things are looking pretty good for us. Balance of power is still smack dab in the middle, guys, but look, there is the overcasted Doom and Darkness. Let's go and slow this down. So I overcasted the Doom and Darkness right here, in this circle right here, and look what it did, guys. Just absolutely just shredded the front line of all these guys right here. 3 units just absolutely shredded, which, because the Kharibdyss as well, which is absolutely just allowing me just to get my troops to go right through. The flood, the floodgates have been open, guys, and now the Druki, waters just swarm in, and we're gonna be able to get into his back line, and now his whole, formation has just been disrupted. You can see this Kharibdyss is absolutely just shredding through Kazarak, and now I'm gonna have the Raven Herald start focusing him down as well. But yeah, guys, that Doom and Darkness is just so powerful, especially when he brings Ungors and things like that. It just destroyed his front line. I mean, look at that. It's just absolutely just crazy. You can see his Minotaurs are going to be fighting amongst my Harkonnen Executioners and things like that. But yeah, guys, it's looking really good for us. You can see that Lokir and the Kharibdyss is going to start fighting this giant, which is a really good counter to it. We'll be able to absolutely shred through him as well. But yeah, it's looking really good for us, guys. You can see that Kazarak is getting destroyed by the Raven Heralds. My opponent is going to have these Ungors start shooting into the back of these guys, which is smart. They are glass cannons. And you can see Bounds of Power starting to drift off in my favor. This Cygor the whole game has been shooting into me, guys, but look how fast we're going to destroy Kazarak. And he's going to be pretty much just taken off the map. Over here, you can see that Lokir and the Kharibdyss are kind of outnumbered, but you can see that we put a lot of damage onto this giant. Each swing from the Kharibdyss is 500-something damage, and this is looking really good for us, guys. You can see that his Minotaurs are getting ready to break. I think we've already destroyed his Minotaurs with great weapons, which just means he's not going to really have a weapon to deal with my 2 Kharibdyss. Now, he does have some troops that are returning, but yeah, you can see that my great swords, my Blades of the Blood Queen and Harkonnen Executioners are actually just going to shred through these guys like it's hot butter. The Cygor is doing a lot of damage, especially how grouped up they are, guys, but yeah, it's looking really good for us. You can see we have total battlefield control. Over here, we're just kind of escorting these Minotaurs off the map with my Sorceress of Death, and it's going to allow me to send my Black Ark Corsairs and my Kharibdyss here to try to deal with the remaining of these shaft units. Over here, the Raven Heralds are shooting into the Cygor, but I wasn't paying attention, and you can see these Ungor Raiders are actually just melting these guys really quickly. I'm feeling pretty confident, though, because you can see his leaderships are just getting absolutely just, tanked. Another really good hit by the Cygor. Things are looking really good for us, though, guys. And you can see now the giant is getting one-on-one by the Kharibdyss, who's just going to knock him over like he's a slap dummy. Or is that what you call him, a slap dummy? So, yeah, guys, now we have the Beastmen on the ropes. The power, it's called Doom and Darkness. Now we know what the spell's called. Once I overcasted it, whatever resemblance of a formation my opponent had, it's just, it's gone. You can see he is using some of these Cygors, or not Cygors, but Synagors to try to get some charging. And, yeah, it is doing good. Maybe if he could kind of get his army to regroup, kind of get a Death Star thing, he might be able to come back, but I have a really healthy balance of power lead, and you can see that we're just knocking down all his monstrous units with the Kharibdyss. He's surrounded by Dread Spears, so that Cygor is not going to be alive much longer. Blades of the Blood Queen and Harkonnen Executioners are just chasing off these units, keeping them from firing, and over here, yeah, the Blades of the Blood Queen are fighting the Synagors with great weapons, and yeah, I mean, these guys do have armor piercing. They'll be able to trade a little bit more, effectively, but yeah, all across the map here, my opponent is running out of places to run. We've singled out all his powerful units. You can see we are getting ready to kill the giant here. One more good hit should about take him down. Maybe one more after that. You can see the Kharibdyss is nipping at his tails right there. And yeah, he's going to shatter, and that's going to be army losses for the Beastmen. So that is how you use a Kharibdyss, and that is how you use the Lore of Death, guys. I hope that synergy, I hope that combination shows you how powerful it is. So let's go ahead and look at the in-screen breakdown and talk about some of the keys for my success. And yeah, the biggest key for success was Doom and Darkness Overcasted, and the Kharibdyss. Also, the Raven Heralds were absolutely just shredded through Kazarak. There's nothing he can really do. He's trying to cycle charge while I'm just, every volley's taking him down a quarter of health. Lokir, obviously, is a beast with his healing. He's really good at the front line. And yeah, my infantry was plenty sufficient to deal with his chief shaft units. There's a lot of bodies, but these guys all have anti-infantry bonuses. You're buffed up by an anti-infantry lord. You have the Abyssal Howl of the Kharibdyss, and it just wrecked the line, guys. So that is a really cool build. You can use this versus Greenskin, Bretonia, Empire, Skaven, Beastmen, obviously, and you can obviously use it about any force. The thing will work. It's just quicker. The second I casted that spell, they routed. Sometimes it takes a little bit while if it's a higher leadership army, but now you guys get the point of it. So, all right, it's Atticus. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you enjoyed my Dark Elf Monster Guide. If you haven't seen it, it's the last video from yesterday, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.